Hello, welcome to 2024. This is January the 5th, and I have some thoughts on my mind that I just want to share with you. I'm scared of something that most people are not afraid of, and it's kind of a weird fear, and I guess I just want to talk to you about it because I guess this is almost a form of therapy for me. I'm scared of books. I'm scared of books that I perceive as being way above my level of intelligence. Because at times I do feel like I have the mental nimbleness of a cauliflower, and I'm afraid of books for many reasons. And this year I've made it a goal of mine to go and consume books that scare me. And again, just to create clarity, the books that scare me the most are the books that, again, spiritual books. I've never really dived into these books before. Books that I perceive are from people who are way more intelligent than me, like I said. Books that are from physicists learning about their lives. Again, these things kind of scare me because I know nothing about science, I know nothing about physics, etc. So I wanted to get some books, and I've ordered a bunch of books that I would never read because I tend to read more mainstream stuff. And the reason I gravitate towards mainstream stuff is, I think because when I read those things, in a way I know a lot of those lessons and those concepts. I'm familiar with them. So when I read things that I'm familiar with, it doesn't cause any cognitive strain. It kind of rather makes me feel smart. So when I read something, I'm like, oh yeah, I know this. And then I get a wonderful feeling from it. And that's happened so frequently in 2023, last year, that I really wanted to challenge myself this year. I wanted to read things that create cognitive strain. And I can tell you right now, this book, for example, The Book of Life, when I started reading this book, it caused so much cognitive strain, but more than cognitive strain, it made me feel stupid because I didn't understand things that were written in this book. I mean, like, let me read you something short, for example, and you tell me if you can understand it, because holy cow, I could not understand it. So let me find a passage here. I'll find a short passage. Okay, here we go. All right, this is this one here. So have a listen to this. An attention that is not exclusive. I think there's a difference between attention that is given to an object and attention without object. We can concentrate on a particular idea, belief, object, which is an exclusive process. And there is also an attention, an awareness, which is not exclusive. Similarly, there is a discontent, which has no motive, which is not the outcome of some frustration, which cannot be canalized, which cannot accept any fulfillment. Perhaps I may not be using the right word for it, but I think that the extraordinary discontent is the essential. Without that, every other form of discontent merely becomes a way to satisfaction. I have no idea what that means. And that's why I don't like reading stuff that I don't understand. I feel, though, that it's important to read things that make you feel stupid. I think it's important to begin or allocate a small bit of your time to read things that you genuinely don't understand. And it's important to do this because I believe that's the equivalent of building up your mental muscles and avoid becoming a cauliflower. Because just like when you go to the gym, and it's something that I don't do, to be quite frank, but I understand logically that when people go to the gym, they do weights and it kind of causes strain and stress to the muscle, they rest and then the muscle grows. I believe the same thing happens with our mind. And that's why I feel like my mind potentially hasn't been growing in the last few years very well, because I've been doing very light weights, right? I've been reading books that are in the top 10, and I'm not saying they're lightweight books, but again, I've read a lot in my life, and sometimes when you do read a fair bit, what happens is you start to see the same concepts being shared over and over and over and over again. So now I'm diving into a realm where all of a sudden, as I'm reading these other books now, I'm feeling a lot of that cognitive strain. I share all of this to ask you, what scares you? What scares you? I think whatever it is that scares you, I think you should face it. I tend to use this metaphor a lot. When you watch a scary movie, the scariest movies are the ones where you can't see the monster. Right? Because there are so many movies these days where when you see the monster, it breaks the reality and you kind of go look at it, you go, oh, that's so stupid. That doesn't even look real. It's so CGI'd, right? But again, I really believe that one of the scariest movies that was ever created in my generation was Paranormal Activity. And in Paranormal Activity, you never see the ghost. You never see the whatever it is, the spirit or whatever it is. You never see it. And because you never see it, it's so scary. And my philosophy is, and what I've come to understand is, the things that we're afraid of, we're only afraid of them because we never see them, we never confront them, we never examine them. We're afraid of it because we never dive into them. And I can tell you, I've been afraid of these kinds of books for the longest time. But deep diving into them in the last few weeks, I'm no longer afraid of them. If anything, I'm excited to read more books like Skin in the Game. This is an incredible book, and I can't believe I've been avoiding it my entire life. This is going to go into my yearly rotation, meaning I'm going to read it every year. But it's like I've been missing out. I mean, even this book by Richard Feynman, right? This is one of the most wonderfully refreshing books that I've ever read on his life and how ridiculous his life is. Just quick side note: this man who's he's not a specialist in unlocking safes, but he managed to be able to unlock the safe that actually held the information for how to make the atomic bomb. And he's not even a safe specialist. It's insane, just the amount of incredible stories in here that are so inspirational. So I've deprived myself of inspiration. I've deprived myself of some of the most brilliant mental models. I've deprived myself, I don't know, I still don't understand anything in this book. But again, I've deprived myself from cognitive strain because of fear. What are you afraid of this year in 2024? Leave me a comment below and tell me what you're afraid of. And also tell me how you're going to face it. Because don't rob yourself of all these wonderful things that may just live on the other side of fear. And that fear may not actually be as scary as you think. I'm going to keep reading books that scare me. Tell me what you're going to do this year as you face some of your fears moving forward into 2024.